expecting these. Everybody wasn't expecting these. Good morning. Hey, how's it going? Afternoon, actually. 1:04. Make it 1:05 Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. I am the first half of that name, McAfee. To my left, wearing a wolf shirt, is the Hawk. How's it going, Hawk?
Oh, it's going well, Pat. How you doing? You had a good show this morning. Already getting picked up all over the place with your Tom Telesco interview.
I believe we'll be on NFL Live this afternoon as well. Let's get right into it, AJ. You heard that conversation that I had with Tom Telesco. I said to him in a long-form question because, you know, I had some things about him preparing for the draft and his scenarios that would go through his head and how he prepares for that. And he said he does all that stuff. You have to think about it. Basically, any rumor that you had heard about what was going to happen to the first 5 picks, he went through that scenario in his head, aside from Miami potentially taking an offensive tackle first, because in his eyes, he said he liked all 3 quarterbacks that were taken in the top 6, Joe Burrow, Tua, and Justin Herbert. And I think what he ended up falling on, his decision was, you know what? If it gets to Miami and 2 quarterbacks are left out of these 3, we're in a good spot. We'll let Miami make the hard decision, and then we'll take, because we like them both. Now, granted, when this video hits the internet, you got a lot of very soft people that are like, why is he saying this? Should he not tell Justin Herbert that he was their guy all along? And it's like, yo, hate to break it to you, bro. This is a draft. That's what it is. This is, in a lot of teams happen to like a lot of players. That's why draft order is so crucial. That's why teams are trying to lose games sometimes so that they can get ahead of other people who like the same players that you do. Justin Herbert landed in an incredible position. And the reason why I asked that question is because there was all that talk about Tua slipping out of the top 10 a couple days before the draft happened. And Miami debunked that theory. I wanted to know if the Chargers debunked that theory as well. Was Tua, if they take Herbert there, were the Chargers going to go with offensive tackle or something else, or would they have taken Tua? Everybody thinks this is a shot at Herbert. It was not, I don't think. I think it was him saying, yo, we had them both basically, like, if either one of these guys are our franchise quarterback, we are happy with it. He did say Tyrod Taylor will be the starter, but boy, 6'6" big boy Herbert now with the Chargers. And Tom told us if it wasn't Herbert, he was okay with Tua. I think that's good news for Herbert, as opposed to bad news. Do you agree with that, AJ?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I didn't get to see the entirety of your interview with Telesco. I saw a clip of it. Did you follow up and say, hey, what if they were both sitting there? What if Miami did take a tackle or somebody else?
No, I did not, because I would like him to come on the show again. You know what I mean?
Good point.
He would have, it was sprinting through my head. I want to let you know, it was like, you know how lightning, I guess, comes from the clouds and earth, and it goes like this? Mm-hmm. That sentence was just like, just bouncing through there. And I'm like, don't ask it. Don't ask it. Let's move on, say something stupid. Let's pivot out of here, because that would have put him in a, he would have said the right thing. He would have said Herbert was our guy. That's why we took him, obviously, or anything like that. That's what he would have said. But that's a tough question to ask, because if you're not in that situation, how do you know? And I guess it's because that's all your preparation. I found it interesting, though, that he legitimately, I would assume, at that table we saw a picture of in his house, great chandelier over his shoulder,
unbelievable,
ping pong table in there, the whole thing. At that, there's him sitting there, and he's like, okay. Cincinnati went, they picked Joe Burrow. All right. This happens and a trade comes in. I bet you he went through the entire process too, of who he's picking, what Zoom call he's going to, everything. I bet you he went through the entire thing. You think about players getting reps in practice and stuff like that. I think the GMs probably do the same exact thing whenever they're going through their board. This guy's gone. What do we do? This guy's gone. What do we do? Trying to project and predict. And if you're at 6, that's a lot easier to predict if there's only 5 picks ahead of you. He felt like he was probably very comfortable going into the draft.
Yeah, you would think that these teams, the smart GMs and the smart teams, would have like simulations the weeks leading up to the draft. Like, okay, especially if you're 6, like there's only so many things that can happen. I guess teams could jump inside the top 5 and get in front of you, but hey, you play those situations out with all your people on your Zoom meetings. Say, hey, this is what we're going to do if this happens. Like, you have contingency plans for every possible scenario, I guess. But hey, somebody always throws a curveball, it seems like, on draft day, and we didn't really see the first curveball until the Packers jumped up and took Jordan Love.
I mean, that was obviously – I didn't ask about that. I did ask Trent Dilfer about that. We'll talk about that here in a second. Trent Dilfer was a really good interview. Every time he's been on TV, I muted him. I had no idea what he was like. I had no clue what he was like.
What was your problem initially with Trent Dilfer before you spoke with him today?
Talks a lot of shit about kickers and punters, man. Talks a lot.
He makes like the cheap jokes about kickers and punters acting like they're not a part of the team and all that.
Bingo. That is exactly what he does. So I learned today that that's basically him just taking shots at some of his best friends, Phil Dawson and Robbie Gould. It's like an inside, my man, look at this. Look at this, what Frank just did. Somebody delivered a bunch of pizza rolls to the office here. Oh. You see this? Frank's our chef. He whipped this thing together. I have no idea who they're from. Right? Do we know who sent it?
No.
We have no idea.
They just showed up like were they frozen?
Yeah, they were. I think they were in a cooler. I would assume something in a cooler. I didn't see it.
I don't think so.
Who opened this package?
Was there a note?
Zito did. It came in like a FedEx box.
I think he's going right now. Check.
It was awesome. I mean,
I think I may have sent those.
AJ, are you AJ? Wow. Are you clout stealing right now? Is this a potential lie from you?
No, I'm saying go ahead and eat it. See how it goes.
I'm a pepperoni roll guy. I mean, I love pepperoni rolls. There's these breadsticks here in Indianapolis at a place called Kilroy's. They have pepperoni breadsticks or whatever. Is that what they call them? Pepperoni breadsticks. They only have one layer of pepperoni. And I've been telling them for like 8 years now, like, yo, we need a little bit more pepperoni on that pepperoni breadstick. Let's make this thing good, because I went to school at West Virginia, I think, where pepperoni rolls were created. In Pittsburgh, there's a lot of pepperoni rolls. The Italians get their hands on things. Somebody knew what would scratch me where I itch, and it's this pepperoni roll from?
Yeah, That's a Wrap pepperoni rolls.
Oh, man, a lot of pressure on them, right? And I'm not that hungry right now either.
Well, it's going to become a thing now. You're gonna get inundated with food sent to your location just so you can talk about it on air.
I'm an
restaurant, I think.
Hey, I'm completely okay with that, by the way.
I think it's what it is.
I'm an eater. Everybody knows we're
Definitely
eaters.
eat into the mic. Everyone loves hearing people eat into the mic.
Oh, but you guys will get on Roger for not eating the M&Ms
on
mic.
Yeah, how about our commissioner? You and my commissioner, you were burying because he wasn't eating the M&Ms
You
on
can
the
put one
camera.
M&M in your mouth.
No, you can't.
Can put one in there. Just
He's
for the
Roger
people.
Goodell. It's the
You can hear-
NFL. It's the standard. The standard's the standard. And when you're the standard, you got to upheld
Then
the
he shouldn't have been wearing a
standard.
T-shirt. Shouldn't have been wearing a T-shirt then.
Oh, it's a lifetime of Sundays. I mean, it was an NFL T-shirt. He was wearing his own merch.
Should have kept his
He's been wearing
jacket
that
on.
T-shirt for 30 years, sitting in that chair for 30 years with that weird, awkward angle, watching games for 30 years.
No, you Diggs, you know better than that. You know that
Well, no,
my
he's my
commissioner.
He's my commissioner too. I liked it this weekend.
My commissioner moves that thing when all those stupid cameras and wires are in there, and that's what you get a chance to win if you go on his all-in bet and get a chance to hang out down there. I saw my commissioner tweet by you last night, AJ. I saw my commissioner champ. Are you coming around? Are you on our side?
I have fully come around.
Yeah.
I'm on board with Roger Goodell. You have converted me. I don't know if I was whatever I was doing. I was down on him. I felt like it was a corny move when he would clap to the camera.
Oh.
Then all of a sudden I see the skull chant that he gets going with his live Zoom audience. I think at least 3 or 4 of the people participated in the skull chant.
Oh,
so
come
you know
on.
what? Rogers, he's my commissioner. I'm on board. I am fully in on Roger Goodell.
How about the ones that just have like the team's logo on it? Does that mean their Wi-Fi stunk? So they're like, all right, because they blocked out an entire square, like lower left. What's that? 1, 4. What number would that be on a graph? 1, 2, 3. Is that 3?
Top right's 1. Now it's 3.
X or Y axis.
3. So in the 3 one for I think the Broncos, they had their entire 3 block. It was all Broncos logos. I'm like, bad Wi-Fi over there, wherever the fuck these guys are.
Or they might have had legal recreational things in there, or someone was dumping them out, or you never know. Like,
did you see the internet obviously winning? They put the guy that has the
The hammer.
yeah, and put him in the
Mr. Hammer.
Tom Segura sells shirts to raise money for that guy's family. By the way,
I wore the shirt on the show.
yeah, he gives the money that to the fair because I guess that guy passed away.
Tragic. Rest in peace.
In a what?
Tragic. It was tragic. I don't know what happened, but he's gone.
He
was
passed
like
away.
a heart
soon.
attack or something like that.
Tragic.
That's a shame. He had a hammer, that guy. But some people edited him into the thing. You know what I mean? In the internet, I wonder if Goodell saw the internet with that photo and was like, "Did we let this on the air?" I wonder if that was a real thing because that had to be a real fear for them. That had to be a real.
Do you think Rogers is aware of this man with the large penis?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you see him. He eats M&Ms in his basement.
Yeah.
Of course, he.
You're
does.
right. You're right. Rogers absolutely. He was probably the first person to see that guy.
He probably,
Roger may have started that guy on his path to stardom.
he probably found that guy.
Asked for him to be on there.
If
I
it
don't know
looked-
if you want to. I don't know if you want to find it. Do you want to be the guy that found him?
Yeah.
That's interesting because a kid in our high school ended up in a porn with another man that we did not know about, and somebody found that. And when I came home one summer, they told me the story, and I was like, who found it? And then I left. It was like a mic drop moment. And they all had to talk amongst each other like, yeah, that's a great question. Who did find that? That is something that we should.
It was quite the trail of, well, I got a DM from this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, they texted it to me.
There's a lot of fingers being pointed at the conversation. I just got up and walked out of there. I felt like I burned the place down. And I was like, well, yeah, riddle me this. Riddle me
Wait,
this.
were you still in high school when you found out about this?
No, I think I was in the NFL when I got. I think I was either in college or in the NFL.
Okay, because if a guy's doing that when he's in high school and you find out and you guys are all still in high school together, that's a little different story.
I don't think he would be allowed to. That'd be pedophilia. I think that's child pornography.
Well,
right?
if he was if he could be his senior year, he could be
Connor.
18.
By the way, Connor did junior year twice. Did you know that people do this?
People get held back. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Oh, I
Nope.
didn't get held back, AJ.
Please explain that.
Yeah, please. We were dumbfounded this morning whenever we were talking about it.
What happened was I went to a little camp, and at the camp they were like, hey, look, you want to come to school here next year? I said, yeah, I'm a junior. They say, hey, don't worry, you can repeat. Ipso facto, I go to a different school, repeat my junior year.
He goes from public school to private school. He repeats his junior year, and he's 24 when he graduates high school.
But if you, so I think you may, Connor, I believe you're smart enough to move on and not be
These are
held back and do your junior year twice.
Thank you, sir.
But you know what they did? They schemed you. If it's a private school, they got an extra year of tuition.
That's why they do
You
it.
wish they schemed me. I schemed them, my friend. They let me into that place.
Yeah. He said it's the top 20 private school in America.
Yeah, private day schools in America. You can look it up. Buckingham, Brown, and Nichols.
Did you have to
baby.
pay for it? Did you have to pay for it?
What do you mean?
Did you pay for it?
Did I pay for that?
It's
ring?
private. You have to pay for private school.
Did
I
I
don't
pay,
know-
did I
don't they
pay
get
to go to
scholarships?
I didn't know if they have scholarships.
Yeah, they
I
do.
did
There's
get a
certain
scholarship.
there's
You
certain
got-
things set up too. If you live in a bad area, or if you live like the public schools are rough in your area, you can get like a charter where they'll basically scholarship you to a private school.
Old two-time junior year guy said he got a scholarship.
I did get a scholarship.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Why did they want you so bad, Connor?
Oh, Connor was a freak athlete. He had the best hands in town.
Best hands in Massachusetts, Pat, you know it. And also, I just modeled my game after AJ Hawk. I mean, they had to have me on the team.
Have you seen the photo of him in the end zone? He looks like
No,
a
please
deranged
do.
man.
Please show it.
I don't know if we have it. Do we have the photo?
I don't think so.
Is it
Connor, I'm guessing you didn't look when you were in high school. You didn't have the same facial hair and kind of the same aura that you do now.
He looks the exact same. Wait, by the way, this thing, who's it from? Wrap it up.
That's a wrap pepperoni rolls.
Oh my God.
Where are they located?
I believe it's a 330 area code, so like Akron.
330.
Can we please play Connor's intern video submission?
Do we have it?
I do have them both on my computer right here.
We only need one of them.
Well, I only need one. I think there. Whatever one I
I still
saw.
haven't seen the first one. Yeah, the only one
no
you
one
guys have
cares
seen
about
is the
that one.
second one.
Yeah, that's the one we would like to see.
Do you really need a knife and fork for that thing?
I don't know why I'm doing that.
You like
Because you're civilized.
Bloomberg
On
eating
radio.
New York pizza with a knife and fork.
Well,
I would never do that. I would never do that.
AJ.
I was just asking. Look at that. Look at the presentation, like the meal appeal. Meraldo brings it to you,
Dude.
on like a wooden serving thing and gives you a knife, a fork, everything.
We don't have anything.
We're out of place.
So it's either this or the potential upside down of a pan or whatever delivered. But yeah, Nick is a full-blown chef in here.
A great chef.
Every day we're having a full restaurant like catered operation in here. We had onion scented hash browns today, tater tots.
So good.
Nick is a chef in here, man.
Do okay.
Incredible variety.
It is.
Hey, the more you can do, man.
Wings.
The more you can do.
He gets air fried wings in here. I mean, it just never ends. And now we got these. These are very good. They have
Chicken fries.
the chicken.
I thought you were.
fries.
Wait, Connor's not eating it. Connor told
Look
me he's
at Connor.
keto now.
Zoom in on that face. Zoom in. He looks the exact same. Look at that
Look
crazy.
at his eyes. Look how crazy he is.
Look at the crazy.
Hey, that's a heavy helmet, AJ. That's a heavy helmet. That's not one of the.
You know what though? I like that helmet. You got a nice face mask.
Triple
That's the
T.
face mask that I wore forever.
Oh, I know. Oh, we know.
You got the old school mouthpiece hanging off your face mask. What year would this have been?
That was 2012.
First junior year or second junior?
Second junior year.
That's your second junior. So
That
that's
is
your
my-
senior year.
That
of
is
high
my
school.
second junior square.
Did you have
That
better
is the square.
stats your first junior year or your second junior year?
Well, here's the thing, AJ. Senior year, I blew out the old shoulder and all the dreams went down the drain. But I did get AJ Dillon's number at Lawrence Academy, baby.
Listen to this guy. So it all tied together. The way this started was AJ
The running
Dillon,
back?
yes,
Yeah.
from Boston College, the guy that was just picked in the second round for the Green Bay Packers after they drafted Jordan Love.
Yeah, they definitely need another running back. That was a solid pick.
1,000%. I mean, it was real big brain stuff. You know, something that we won't look back on in 5, maybe 10 years and say, you remember when the Stooges that had the chance to run the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers decided to do this, this, and this in 2020? That can't wait for that conversation. But A.J. Dillon, obviously second-round draft pick out of Boston College, had a great year there for Boston College. He's a bigger guy, tougher guy. Connor, I guess, Connor said he stuffed him in a hole whenever he was in high school. Now, granted, Connor was in his second senior year, so he was 20 years old, and this kid was a freshman in high school. But Connor still to this day says, you know what I did to A.J. Dillon? It's like a 13-year-old. It was a big play.
He was 16. He was a little older for a freshman. But I mean, I'm not going to pat myself on the back. You already did it for me. But
A.J., did anybody ever tell stories? I'd assume that in Ohio, there's a lot of Friday Night Lights where you maybe got. People are still telling those stories that they got A.J. Hawk, I assume.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm sure. Yeah, everybody gets got at some point, don't you think? So yeah,
Yes.
You're tired. You're playing both ways in high school too. I was trying to kick off and punt at the same time. Just dead tired the whole game.
what?
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 Hey, Diggs.
What?
Is Diggs there?
What?
I'm just gonna.
What?
This will be between me
What?
and you, Diggs. Don't worry about them.
What? You
I-
were a
I saw
punter and
a little
kickoff guy
bit-
in high school?
Yeah, I think I've told you on here. I only got to kick off for a little bit because I had to kick off one time after having a long touchdown run. I was so tired, I yanked that thing straight to our sideline. I always punted. Like punting, I enjoy punting. It was fun.
Were you good, or did you just kick it as hard as you could and it would get on the ground and just bounce? Did you?
Depending how tired I was, because then I had to cover the kick and then stay in on defense after just getting done with an offensive series. I had some bombs. I had a couple bombs, and then I had a bunch that I just yanked out of bounds because you know what? I listened to my personal protector. He was tired. He had to stay on the field too. He's like, hey, man, get this thing out of bounds. I was like, yes, sir, because I don't want to cover either.
So you were the show in Centerville whenever you were in high school. The same guy that knocked out Kirk Herbstreit in the Adult Swim game or whatever the hell it was. You knock him out in the alumni game at 30 years old, told him never to play football again with that chin right to his chin. Whack! You also on Friday nights were just an absolute showman in Centerville, Ohio. I didn't know that.
I don't know if that's the case. We had a lot of good
Long
players.
touchdown, kickoff, on defense, punting. You're the whole show.
Didn't come off the
I would
field.
hope you would. If you're playing in high school, you should be doing a lot of things. You shouldn't be stuck in one position.
How do you feel about coaches that tell people to play one sport?
They're idiots. They're not coaches.
They're selfish, dumb people.
They're ignorant idiots that have no business being anywhere near a sport.
They would draft Jordan Love in the first round with Aaron Rodgers as your starting quarterback with 4 years left. Well, I do believe that every other sport helps out every other sport. Like even if it's something little, if it's better with your feet or makes you jump higher or more reactive or better eyes.
Learning how to use your body in space, learning how to fall and not get hurt every time you go down. Like learning how to if you have people around your legs, you got to go limp and go with it sometimes and not try to stand your ground. Like just there's so many little things that you can't coach that you only learn from playing in the backyard, playing other sports. Like think about playing basketball, how much that teaches you like your body control, going up for rebounds, being aware that there's some feet on the ground. I don't want to step on top of a foot, roll my ankle bad. Like there's just a million things when you go back. And I've never talked to an actual coach who coaches even in like the middle school level up. I've never had a coach like, no, gotta specialize, gotta go one sport. Like every good coach, I've been very lucky to have great coaches throughout my life. Every one of them is like, no, absolutely, go play other sports. You need to do that.
I don't think I've heard any human that's a good athlete say that you should do that either. So whenever that whole narrative was getting pushed, I was very intrigued by it. I'm like, how is this what you're talking about? I talked to one special teams coordinator, college, just for Thursday Night Football. I talked to one guy. And he said, since players aren't doing multiple sports like punters and stuff like that, he said a lot of the punters, like first they're like, let's see if they can catch. right? Let's see if they can do that. And then if anything goes wrong, they're just specializing in punting or just specializing in kicking. So they have no soccer background. They have no other position background. They're just punting and kicking because their parents think they're going to get a scholarship. But then whenever you see them, if anything goes wrong, it's like they don't know they're not athletic enough to figure it out. I just think that whole specialty thing is stupid. Now, granted, I'm a guy that's had 7 different professions already, but I think the specialty thing is just very, very stupid. I'm happy.
And it burns people out. Like, say you're a kid and your parents make you specialize in baseball. You got kids having Tommy John surgery at age 13 now. Like, you can't do that.
Hey, they throw the ball fast, though. They have 13 to 14 in their first freshman year, and then their second freshman year, and then their Boston Connor third freshman year. They're throwing absolute gas.
Well, and you got to know that if the parent is going to make their kid specialize, that parent most likely started their kid in school late, so they'd be very, very old for their grade. So they'll try to say, oh, it's for academics, so they're going to be better in school. They'll be a year ahead of these people, but they'll start in first grade whenever. No, like that, the kid is going to be Connor. He's going to be graduating high school at 26 years old.
What's wrong with that, AJ? What the hell?
If you want your kid to go to the league, that's not a good sign. Like, who wants to draft a 30-year-old rookie?
Fair.
Browns.
Browns.
Whedon.
Brandon Whedon.
Well, I mean, you see this video he sent in, you'll understand why we wanted to draft Connor.
Oh, do we have the video of Connor?
Yep, Zeke's got it.
Is it like an audition video?
Yeah, so whenever we
this
called
is
for
to get
interns, whenever we were starting up Barstow Heartland, we got this from up in Massachusetts.
I can't see it. Mine says paused.
Patrick. Hey, listen, all right? I'm in the same pants as I was yesterday, same underwear, same shoes. This is how stressed I am. I can't even sleep. I can't even change. I can't even shower. Liz, hold on. I'm doing an interview. Can you please just get back to me? I mean, I'm out here. I'm working hard still. People are still saying I'm funny. I'm still lighting rooms up. I mean, we're gonna be great friends. You're gonna show me around the city. Someone's gotta. I mean, I was a punter in high school. I played high school football. I didn't play college. I got hurt. What are you gonna do? But I swear to God, I got the Letterman upstairs. I would put it on, but it's really not that cold out, if I'm gonna be really honest. So really, just give me an interview. I'll get in there. We'll chat a little more about football. Would love to get some tips on punting. I still got 4 years eligibility. You know what I mean? So please, get back to me soon.
Loved him. I'm so thankful you sent that video in. I am so thankful you sent that video in.
I wish you guys saw the first one, but what are you going to do?
AJ didn't see that entire video because we had to literally exit out of his conversation or show the video. You took a loss there for the greater good because the rest of the people got to see it. You could hear it though, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, I could hear it. I could get the vibe of what Connor was doing.
He's shirtless. He's shirtless.
See it now.
He's ripping.
Wait, how long ago was this?
Junior year of high school, so what's that, 2017?
Junior
Smoking
college.
heaters
Junior of
too? This is
college.
amazing.
Sorry.
Junior of college.
Dude, yeah, he was smoking a burner. He had Tim's on with khakis stuffed into the thing, shirtless. The part that made me die when I first started watching it, we had the boys here selected down the final like 80 or something like that, and then we cut it down even more. Whenever we watched this, I mean, it was getting rough, right? These videos were getting rough. I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, I don't want to be around any of these people because, I mean, what you think you want to put on a video, I mean, that's a tough thing for us to ask people to do. I would never do that again, by the way. That's a tough thing for people to have to do. But then we got to his, man, and it was just so obnoxious. I was like, I love this, man. And then in the middle of the video, he goes, hey, Liz, hold on. I'm making a... That girl didn't even know he was
I'm doing an interview.
And then I'm coming to the city. Somebody's got to show me. Or somebody's got to. I mean, it was just like, I was like, yeah, that guy. I want that guy for sure, please. That was awesome.
Nick and I took the video too, Pat, and we didn't know if he was going to hate him or love him.
That is true. They said that. They prefaced the video with that. They were like, I have no idea if you're going to hate this guy out, like absolutely hate this guy or love this guy. And I think, I don't know where he sat in the order of when we watched it, but everything was perfect. It was like it was like that Virgin softball team you played for, Connor. It was just
That's a perfect team right there.
Virgins in the outfield.
Hey, we won the championship our first year in the outfield, those Virgins. Don't forget.
This guy.
I want to see Ty Schmidt's audition tape at some point. We don't have to play it today, but I know he did Mel Kiper on it.
Yeah, I think he did a bunch of impressions.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It was awesome. There's,
It's like you send in like an SNL audition tape. It sounds like, Ty.
I'll tell you what, we got a lot of videos, and there was a lot of really talented people. It was. I'm being serious when I say that. I think there are so many talented people out there who can make money on the internet if they give it a go. But it's a long haul on the internet. Like, it takes a long time to get up to the point. You got to be very persistent and patient. There's a lot of talented people that we got to get, but the group of boys that we have here still, I mean, we really got lucky. I mean, with these guys.
Well, you're lucky too, because the guys not only are great like content creators, they're funny on the mic, but you got guys building whole sets and studios so you can do all your weird office Olympics. We can put a draft show on with a ticker at the bottom and all kinds of graphics. Like, you guys are multi-tool athletes out there.
It's a stupid group of humans in here. Stupidly talented. None of it makes sense that it happens. By the way, none of it makes sense that it happens.
Yeah.
And there's never real big conversations. It's just like, yeah, we'll do that. We'll figure it out. And then Zito production, bing, bang, boom, plug. Something happens, it works and looks better. And then Jason, my brother, somehow learns how to make like 3D graphics. Like, how the fuck does that happen? Nobody knows. It's just like weird things happen here. That's why it's so hard to hire. That's why it is so hard to hire. Zito's audition tape, also amazing.
He's got it.
We got a few back here.
Oh, my. Are we doing it?
We don't have to watch mine.
I mean,
I don't want to.
How'd you find that?
Let's talk about.
I got it all, baby.
Let's talk about something that is insane. We'll roll those out. I think we're still going to have a little bit here before. We're going to have time.
Yeah, I mean, after the draft, there may be a dry period coming.
Korean baseball is coming, so let's get pretty excited about that.
There we
I guess ESPN is negotiating things to show Korean baseball. I'm all in with the Shocks. Right, the Doosan Shocks.
Let's go.
I love them.
Shocks.
Another crazy thing happened, though, in the world that we live in currently, AJ, and I'm excited for this take by you. The Pentagon has released videos of UFOs, videos that I've seen before. I've seen those videos before.
Everybody's seen them.
Exactly. So how have we seen them before if they're just getting released now? Just first question. I want to talk to that person that did that. I want to know what else they know. And who's driving said UFOs? Where are they from? Do they live inside the moon? Do they live inside Mars? Are they in another universe? I want to know about who the fuck's inside of these things then. If they know these, if they're letting this out, that means we probably know what's going on inside. That'd be a cool little thing to drop in the middle of this quarantine. Maybe Netflix can try to go buy that information. That's not a bad weekend. Spend one weekend with Tiger King, spend one weekend with Ozark, spend another weekend with something else, and then all of a sudden, bang, meet the aliens that live here. I mean, I'm pumped up about this. I think there's going to be an unveiling of a lot more stuff, and I'm happy that we are 100% sure now that aliens exist, and they got things that are tiny and fly fast as fuck.
Well, I don't think it's going to, I guess, blow up and become as big as you think it is. Now, these videos came out before. They were from, was it the Navy fighter pilots, I believe, that they were flying and they saw these things and they didn't know what they were exactly and how they moved. So that video somehow got to the internet. And then now, though, through the Freedom of Information Act, they had to release them. And I guess the government just acknowledged the videos really for the first time that there's something, and they acknowledge that we don't really know what it is.
Well, by the way, also, when it's on the internet, you think it could be fake. Mm-hmm. When the Pentagon says, here's the videos, by the way, then you're like, oh, so this isn't fake. This is legit. Because I think that was always somebody's, debunking theory. I've always been a wide open thinker. You say something that's outlandish, I want to hear the reasoning, and then I'll decide whether or not it's a good idea. Bigfoot, I was all in. Went Bigfoot hunting in Georgia with a deaf man. We didn't find him. Not 100% sure he exists anymore. Aliens, always been all in on the aliens. Now there's people that are so against some of this stuff, so against some of it, that they'll be like, oh, the video's fake, Now the Pentagon's like, nah, well, hate to fucking drink it. Here's 3 real ones. What's next, AJ? I want to know where the damn Sasquatch is. That's what I want to know.
Sasquatch is not a thing. You know how many people how many shows, like Bigfoot hunter shows they have come on? And the crazy thing about these Bigfoot hunter shows, people film a full season of it. 3, 4, 5, 6 months they film it. Then they got to edit it, and then they'll promote that the show is coming out. And I'm like, okay, bud, if, in fact, you found Bigfoot, I think we would have realized it 8 months ago when you actually found him, not in post-production when you finally are ready to roll out the 10 episodes of you searching, becoming so close. Oh, we just missed him. He was just here. Tune in for season 2 next year.
Just ruin the show.
I've never, spoiler, but I've never had a real run-in with the Bigfoot, and I think that is why.
Oh, I'm shocked. Nobody has, Pat.
No, the guy that I went Bigfoot hunting with down in Georgia, he's seen him 4 times in 20 years. He's been living as a recluse or whatever. He's been in the woods living.
He doesn't have an iPhone? There's no iPhone or any
He's a recluse.
video capabilities from this guy?
Now, 20 years, a lot of technology has changed. I did see a mold of the foot, and it was a big one. It was a big one, and a piece of hair that he got.
Oh, that's big.
I felt the hair.
Why don't they test the DNA of the hair then?
Well, he doesn't trust the doctors to take the hair and never give it back, obviously. It's a big
Good point.
secret.
Yeah,
Everybody's
good
in
point.
on it.
Yeah. Hey, I was talking about Diggs earlier. Diggs, I understand Trent Dilfer completely transformed in Pat's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're Husky, Diggs. I think you look great.
Thank you, AJ.
He took a shot at you. I think that was uncalled for.
I mean, I am not husky.
Diggs
What does husky mean? Husky means fat.
Built.
Oh, I didn't know that.
means built.
No, husky doesn't mean fat.
I think husky's big bone.
Doesn't mean built.
No,
What is big
means you're
boned?
built.
Big bones is like, you
I'm big
You
boned.
just carry
Big
weight.
bones means you're fat.
That's
No.
not true.
AJ, just because you're super fit, and
Connor,
have,
stop saying my name back there.
just because you're super fit and have a great jawline, okay? We don't need you fat shame. Is that what it is?
I'm not fat shaming anybody.
Wow.
I'm saying
Sounds like it.
Let's say
Sure
that.
sounds like
I'm
it.
like Mike Tolbert.
I'd say Husky's like dad bod.
I would
October
say
was
Husky's
not
like
easy to tackle.
Zito.
See?
Zito is Husky to me.
active husky.
I'd call Zito like
Go on.
medium trim.
Okay. So medium trim. So medium trim is husky then. That's what medium. That's what. So
Stop
you
calling.
just.
Wait, what are you calling Zito fat?
No.
You were about to.
You did, and then we called him. No, he was husky because it's different. Hey, Diggs has lost like 20 pounds though, getting ready for this wedding. He's never looked better, but he did set Trent Dilfer up to bury him when he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to lose weight." So Trent Dilfer, I think, felt like
Good for the show.
like, hey, I could probably bury that guy right there if I wanted to. And then he said he was at 260 just a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, I like Trent Dilfer. I've never heard him speak. I heard him speak one time. It was enough for me. I muted him every other time he was on television or just didn't pay attention. He was a good conversation. I thought.
He's a smart dude, and he has a lot of great stories, too, because he played in the league forever, and he was a quarterback. He played around a bunch of studs. He won a Super Bowl. So, yeah, of course. I think he is an entertaining dude. That's why he was on ESPN for a long time, right?
Yeah, he was
Now
on
he's coaching high school football.
Yep.
No, he's coaching the high school football. Elite 11, which is like
No, he coaches a high school football team in Tennessee now.
Yeah, Lipscomb Academy.
You just had him on the show, and you're just realizing this?
I don't do research, man.
He said, I watched the clip of your interview. He said, you see these screens back here? This is where I'm usually game planning for my high school team that I coach.
Yeah, and I think he even said Lipscomb, but I didn't know what the fuck it was. I had no idea what it was. I
He
thought
moved to Nashville. He lived like in an apartment above a garage when he was first there. I listened to his whole story.
See?
Not on your show. That was another show. I listened to that.
Yeah, but if I would have done that, I think I would have been intrigued by all that stuff. It would have taken away from all the stuff that I wanted to know about, you know?
I understand your brain works in mysterious ways. You gotta filter what goes in your brain because you don't have the capabilities to not just blurt it out.
Yeah. So you were living above a fucking garage? Why'd you do that? Why are you doing to coach a high school? What are you doing? That would be my first question. Just offending the entire high school. Do you think he wants to move up? Like most people, if they start coaching, they want to move up, right? They're not just staying in. Or is his dream to be a high school coach, and does he get real fulfillment out of that? Yeah, I would assume that's probably what it is, because at high school level, you have a connection with your players that's much different than anywhere else.
You can have a giant impact on those high school. I mean, think of your high school coaches, think of your high school teachers. You'll remember them for the rest of your life. So I think maybe that's it, because he moved too. Like that's why I think he was living in an apartment or something. He moved. His family stayed. Is he from California, or does he live in California?
He's from California. I know that.
I don't know. I assume they came with him now to Nashville, but he must have really wanted to go coach in high school, because it's Trent Dilfer. If he wants to get a job on an NFL roster, there's a great chance someone will bring him in as a consultant at first, and then he can work his way into a quarterback coach and keep moving if he wants.
And he runs Elite 11, right? Which is all the top quarterbacks. They all have the little powwows and stuff in the summer and meetings and stuff. I would assume he's recruiting. Oh, he's recruiting Elite 11 quarterbacks to come to Lipscomb, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's a good move.
That's what they do. That's how they get them.
Hey, that's how your school got you.
That's how they got me.
Hold him back. Yeah, you get there, you hold him back, get him 7 years in high school. It'd be perfect. You'll win so many games.
Hey, when you're a junior and you're 24, we're going to win the state championship. For sure.
Get you one of these.
Get you one of these rings.
Still chasing it.
That'd be awesome. Would you ever coach? No. High school, maybe?
I don't think so. You know my feeling. You know, Pat. I'm not. You got to stay in your lane, and I just don't think that's my lane right now.
So you're officially out whenever I become athletic director at Plum High School, my high school.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely out because I'm not moving, and I'm not going to go coach, and I'm not going to have you as a boss.
You don't have to move. Drive in.
AQ said he would do it. AQ said he would.
I know AQ would be a great coach. I think he should.
Oh, you don't want to coach alongside him? You don't want to turn around a program? You don't want to make some place relevant for the first real time whenever it comes to sports and good and holiness and all that stuff?
No, I would love to be an assistant for AQ. I don't want to be the head coach. I don't want to deal with parents.
Oh, so you would coach, though, at some point?
No, probably not.
D coordinator, maybe?
Oh, okay. Huge shout out and thank you to Buckeye great AJ Hawk for taking time to join the linebacker unit this AM. We appreciate you sharing your wisdom on ball life in the critical role of accountability in plays on a championship team. Hashtag H2, hashtag LBU, hashtag Go Bucks. There's you coaching right there. Look at you teaching, having a moment with those kids.
Coach them up.
That one guy was sitting with.
I got
weights
to
and
join in.
people.
The linebacker coach at Ohio State reached out and wanted me to join a Zoom call with all their backers. So yeah, I had a good hour Zoom call with them.
Had you ever met the linebackers coach before?
I've met him a few times. He just last season was the first season. He came from Michigan, and so he was. Last season was his first year.
That team up north. Wow.
Came from Michigan.
Wow. If I was in Ohio, I'd have to spell my name PATXC capital AFEE. Is that accurate?
I mean, yeah, that's Urban Meyer brought that in. Yeah, where he only calls them that team up north. It doesn't wear blue. They X out the M's and everything just on Michigan week. But I played for Jim Tressel. We didn't have that protocol when I was there.
Okay, what is the current crew? Did you have to? Do they X out M's currently?
Yes, that's what I just got done saying.
Well, it's not Urban Meyer. It's Ryan Day now.
Oh yeah, Ryan Day. My bad. I didn't understand your questioning. I thought you weren't paying attention.
That's all I do. That's all I got. That's all I got is to pay attention. That's all I got, pal. And then as soon as this is over, I forget everything we talked about. And then I know
because then I'll repeat myself the next show, and you're like, "Oh, Marty, that's groundbreaking stuff."
You're a punter and kicker, man. That's insane. So what was the message? Accountability, huh? Like being able to look in the mirror and say, "Hey, I fucked up. Let's get better next time."
So I'll tell you exactly how it played out.
Here we go.
Supposed to do it last week with the guys on that cereal box: Bobby Carpenter, Anthony Schlegel. Us three were going to come on.
Schlegs?
Buckeye Heroes. We're going to go on a Zoom call.
Yep, and I believe I was scheduled to do it Friday at 10 a.m. I got a text Thursday at 10:20 a.m. from Bobby. He said, "Hey, my bad. I got it all wrong. It's today. We're on the call right now." And I didn't see that text until like 2 hours later, so I missed it. So then I had to do it solo yesterday.
How about some accountability, though, from Bob?
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean? Is that why you did the entire accountability speech?
Shocker.
Just to take a shot at Rob Carpenter?
No, I didn't really. I mean, I didn't. I just chatted with him, told him a little bit about my time at Ohio State and the relationships I had with my buddies and coaches and teammates, and then they got to ask me some questions. It was fun.
Anybody ask any good questions? Did they feel as if they had to ask you questions? Because that's
Players actually. I don't think players. They stayed muted pretty much the whole time. It was more Al Washington and then Madison, the other coach who came from Michigan, who were on the call that were kind of asking questions.
Two Michigan people.
do you think Bobby and Harry Schlegel were dogging you for missing the call last week? Or?
Hell yeah.
Harry Schlegel was.
No,
the
it
tax
wasn't.
collector
I mean,
from
shockingly, it wasn't
Harry
it wasn't me that just forgot.
Harry.
What happened?
Harry Schlegel, who Diggs said is the tax collector from Plum, where we're from. Anthony Schlegel is the linebacker that AJ played with in Ohio State.
Barry Schlegel?
The brain knew. The brain. It's weird how the brain works.
That was a very inside reference there to adults from Plum Borough who pay taxes. It was not a lot.
No, if you guys would have told me who, if we could say Diggs, who is Harry Schlegel, I never would have come up with who that actually
but that's the name that was in your head though, because you've seen him on signs like vote him in for tax.
Yeah, true.
Oh my God. Anyways, Tone Schlegel is your fucking name. That is your name. Anyways, You think Tone and Bob were going after you?
Nah, I don't think so. Well, I don't know.
They know better.
It's all right. I made it right.
Give him a noogie next time you see him.
What'd you say to the kids? How'd you lead off? Hi, I'm AJ Hawk.
Coach Washington, the linebacker coach, just kind of talked for a minute or two. And he said, "Oh, you can, I'll let you kind of talk about what you want. And then I just went on for 5 or 10 minutes and then opened it up a little bit and answered some questions for a while.
So you said, I'll take some questions out if you want, and none of the players asked the question, just the coaches did?
Well, the Coach Washington had a bunch of questions himself.
Oh,
and
great.
Whenever he'd say, has anyone got any questions, guys, there's like 15 dudes on the call, I think. I would understand it. Like, I wouldn't really want to ask a question in that setting, in a Zoom setting too. It's weird. So he kind of chimed in.
Hey, me neither, by the way. And anytime I get in a situation like that where I'm like, I'll open it up for questions, I'm looking in a room that I know is going to have 0 fucking questions. And I'm like, hey, by the way, if I was sitting there, I'd ask 0 questions too. No problem at all. What were some of the questions about? Was it just about being at Ohio State? Was there any actual football talk in there?
No, it was all like football talk. They asked about like how big is communication on the field, like pre-snap, post-snap, and go into all of that, how much you have to talk and get to know your teammates. I was letting them know, like, hey, like what you do off the field carries over and all kind of stuff like that. And then even like specifics. Oh, if you're blitzing, what is your like aiming point and all this stuff. So yeah, it got really kind of into detail.
How about film study, like how you watch film?
Oh yeah, he asked me to go through like my whole weekly routine.
Because Drew Brees right now has Jameis Winston as a backup, and Jeff Ireland, the man that asked Des Bryant if his mom was a prostitute, said that in 1 year of football behind Drew Brees, he'll learn more than he has in his entire lifetime about football. Now, granted, Jameis Winston had Bruce Arians, Clyde Christensen, and many others last year as a coach, and he's with Jimbo Fisher, but he thinks being able to sit in a room and watch film with Drew Brees, and then with Pete Carmichael, obviously, and Joe Lombardi and Sean Payton, obviously, he'll be able to learn. I think that film thing is an impressive thing. If he gets a chance to watch how one of the elites watches film, breaks down film, what he's looking for, I do think that's a big-time weapon that could be underappreciated because Jeff Ireland said something wildly stupid at the end of this.
Well, that's, of course, yeah. I think if Jameis can just sit there and say, like, they say they're watching practice, and Jameis can be like, hey, man, What made you go to your second read so quickly here? What made you do this? Why'd you check out of that? Like, that's the stuff that'll be super valuable for Jameis Winston, who's relatively young still in the league and has plenty of time left to play. But it got me thinking, Pat, and I wanted to ask you about this.
Yeah.
So we got Jameis Winston on the team now for the Saints.
Bingo.
Drew Brees. Anybody knows if you watch the Saints, Drew has this little call up before the game on the field, you know, when he yells whatever.
1 for me, 2 for you, 3 for me, 4 for me. And it's always
so
like,
what do? We got Jameis now, though. We know Jameis is the greatest pump-up speech guy there is. So who gets it? Does Jameis have to step aside, or does Drew let him tag in every once in a while?
I hope he tags him in. I hope he tags in Jameis and lets him meet, you know. Those moments of on-field hype-up conversations and hype-up chats, only a couple people can come away with not looking like a douchebag in the middle of that. Jameis Winston was a guy that didn't win. Our team had a lot of losers as well, if it means anything. This was a tough one. I'm not saying we should judge him just strictly by one of his pregame speeches. I assume there was others. This was tough. I think he probably learned from this, but this came off bad. And to be honest, anybody that chooses to go into the circle on the field during warm-ups and speak takes an incredible amount of gumption because you're probably going to sound terrible, and it's strictly for the cameras.
It's always for the cameras.
Bingo.
I mean, that's the weirdest part about it is like they're gonna like a guy may be kind of on the fringe, like, okay, I don't speak every game, but every once in a while I get out there. He's looking around like maybe it's Thursday night, maybe it's Monday night, Sunday night. Usually prime time is when those guys like to come out of the woodwork and speak. And he's looking, he's like, ooh, I see the guy with the remote cam. He's kind of close. All right, guys, bring it in. On me. Hey, you know the best part is, though, those speeches, you get in the middle, everyone's all juiced up. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Then you break off and you go do your individual warm-ups, and you probably have 54 minutes before kickoff. So I don't think it's going to carry over too much.
The Colts used to do it after a warm-up on the field, before back into the locker room for 20 minutes and then come back out. So you get pumped up to go into a quiet locker room for 15, 20 minutes to come back. It never made any sense to me, but boy, when Robert Mathis got in there, I was dialed in. I was like, I would like to hear this, whatever's coming out. And it was good. It gave you something to think about as opposed to the normal, like, yo, tonight we're going to punch him in the mouth. No, yeah. I mean, it is.
Those are the worst. Those are the ones you could find me on the outside of the circle. I'm already trying to take my cast off because I got to take a leak so bad. I'm like, all right, man, I got like 7 minutes when I get in there. I got to take this cast off. I got to get my gloves off. I got to find a way to pee and get all retaped up before I get back out in the field for the actual game. But you're right. Like, I played with Julius Peppers in Green Bay. When Julius spoke a few times, he's a very, very quiet guy, just all about his business. And one of the greatest teammates I've ever been a part of. Julius spoke a few times, and when he's like, everyone was in awe. It was like Jesus Christ. We were like, first off, I didn't know Julius could speak. Second off, like he had a great message, and you could just like see how much he cared, how passionate he was. He was trying to get a ring, and like that one stuck. I mean, it still sticks with me now, thinking of Julius speaking to the team.
There's a couple guys on each team where as soon as they open their mouth, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna listen to this. Robert's one of those guys. Happy to hear that Julius is one of those guys. Peyton was obviously one of those guys. Andrew, because he didn't speak much. When Andrew would get going, I was always like, oh, I'm pumped to hear this, because he didn't really do that much. But every once in a while, you'll get somebody in there that a majority of the team hates. Yeah, and then, the camera's on, so you got to do the fist up into the thing and like, yeah, okay, all right, Colts on 3. Yep, no, not yet. Okay, here we go. And way to go, man. That was awesome. All right.
And your coaches are yelling and blowing the whistle like, hey, man, we only got 3 minutes for individual. Get over here now. What are we doing?
Go ahead, Diggs.
AJ, do you know who Bob McGinn is? McGinn?
Yeah.
He just came out and said he suggests that the Packers trading up for Jordan Love was a power move by Matt LaFleur, who has simply had enough of Rodgers' act, and the Love pick would gain leverage with their imperial quarterback.
Gain what kind of leverage?
I don't know. I mean,
Who's that guy? Who is that? Let's go back and see.
He was a beat writer in Green Bay for a long time, but he left.
40
right?
years.
Where's he working now?
He's with the Athletic.
Right.
But is he still with Green Bay? Is he still in Green Bay?
I don't know, to be honest.
He has reported on the Packers for 4 decades. He suggests that Matt LaFleur, who has simply had enough of Rodgers' act. What the fuck does that mean?
So do you think this is going to help the relationship?
Would gain leverage with their what is imperial quarterback? That means Aaron or Love?
That's
Aaron. Imperial being like he's a kind of like a dictator almost.
Oh
correct?
yeah, like all encompassing.
How would that gain leverage? You just pissed him off
like
and made
leverage
yourself...
to get him out, I believe.
Oh, leverage to get him out of there?
That's how I read it.
I read it as leverage like in the building so he could speak over top of them.
Yeah. Oh, maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you're viewing LaFleur and Goody, if say you're viewing Goody as like the Jerry Krause character from the Jordan documentary, then it would make sense. If you're saying like if you think Goody has that personality, which I don't know if he does or not, thinking like, okay, as long as Aaron is here, yeah, we may win a lot of games, but Aaron's going to get the credit.
We got to put our stamp on this. We have to put our legacy on this. So
I hope that's not the case.
Those cocksuckers. I bet it is.
Oh, no.
Well, you got to think, though, Aaron came through for the previous regime, right? So any success that you have, the previous regime was the ones that brought it in. So for your next contract negotiation with whoever Ted is in charge of that whole thing, you're not getting the credit for all this because Aaron's been there since before. But you bring your own people in, you build it from yourself, then you get the credit. I mean, that is completely ass backwards, and that is not what you should care about. But these are humans who are trying to make a living. And this is just I think this is so short-sighted in this entire thing. Such a short-sighted. Now, granted, I don't know if this is true. Who knows if Matt LaFleur is enough of Rodgers' act, by the way. Is his act having a great beard, slicking back his hair, and wearing a denim jacket on draft night? Is that his act?
Good act.
If you had enough of that. Is his act rolling and throwing a Hail Mary cross his body 65 yards into a basket? Is that his act? Is his act being able to drop it in a bucket? Is that his act? Or what is his act, LaFleur? That's what I would ask.
Whether this is true or not, this is what that draft pick does. This is going to happen all the time now.
Good point.
Well, it happens anytime. I mean, Peyton Manning got cut because Grigson came in. Now, granted, I would have loved, oh my God, now that I just thought about it, I would have loved those two in the same building just to see how that would have went. Oh.
How would it have gone?
What could have been? I don't know. I really don't know. But anyways, the new regime is always wants to build it from themselves so they can get credit and say that they did it. And they're the one to put the pieces together. That's why the Jerry Krause thing is so interesting, because he did build that. And you would think he would respect his baby. But if you have the same vision as Tom Brady or as Bill Belichick, it's like, I built this, I can build it again, is kind of what Krause feels. These guys have never proven that they can build anything, right? No. So them just go ahead and just, you know what, fuck it, we'll just, we'll mail it in here for the last potential great, because Aaron told us in 4 years when his contract's up, he'll be 40. That'd be over 2 decades in football. And then he'll take an evaluation and see if he wants to keep going or not after seeing Drew Brees and Tom sign those big deals. But he basically said, like, next 4 years, I want to go. I want to go and go for it and see what we got to do. And they just aren't, they're obviously not on the same page, especially if Bob McGinn's reporting that. He's been reporting on the Packers for 4 decades, AJ.
Well, and Aaron's saying that, like, hey, we want to go. We have a window open here. I still feel really good. Oh, and by the way, we were 1 game away from the Super Bowl last year. Like, we don't need to rebuild.
Is that his act?
Plug a few pieces in place, maybe draft a receiver or 2. Didn't get any. I know you brought in Funches. That's a start, but you had the opportunity to make your team better in the short term, and I just don't think they did that through the draft.
What if Aaron and he probably won't. I have not talked to Aaron. I'm not 100% sure if AJ has. So what I'm saying is nothing to do with what Aaron's actually thinking. I'm just thinking to myself, what if he was like, I don't want to be here. I want to leave.
Yeah.
I think Packers fans, by the way, would actually be understanding. I think maybe Guti and LaFleur, they would love to potentially try to trade him. He's got $46 million in dead cap space.
Really? You really think now that they would really want to trade him?
No. But if he's tired of his act, I mean, that is, if Bob McGinn is reporting it accurately, he's tired of his act. I mean, you have no idea what that means. Those words can be broken down in so many different ways. That's why I respect Bob McGinn just throwing his name right out into this whole thing. I mean, it's just, if you're Aaron, how are you not just furious about that? I would be so pissed. I'd be so pissed.
Anybody would be furious about it. And I think Andrew Brandt said it on your show yesterday that he's like, Packers fans are spoiled. They've had a franchise Hall of Fame quarterback for the last 30 years. You went from Brett Favre straight to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's some big shoes to fill for Jordan Love if he is eventually going to be that next guy. But, man, like it's not time yet to be for that next guy.
I said it earlier. With drafting Jordan Love and trading up to get him, they're saying that if they plan on keeping Aaron for 2 years, whatever it is, his contract is set up for them basically to pay him the next 2 years. And then the last 2 years, it's kind of an interesting thing. Say they keep him for 2 years, and then Jordan Love's going to be the guy. They're saying that either the quarterback needs to be in their system for a couple years to learn it so they can hit the ground running, or they're saying they don't think they'll find another Jordan Love in the next couple years, which I just find remarkable because Joe Burrow didn't even exist really until last year. How do you know what dual threat quarterback is going to be available next year that could potentially be better than Jordan Love? And now you just piss off your franchise quarterback, don't make your team better, and bank on never being able to find somebody that could potentially replace it. It's all so stupid. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even if, let's say 3 or 4 years from now, Jordan Love takes over and his 4th year in the league, they win a Super Bowl, then do you look back that far down the road and be like, see, we were justified? Like, well, no, because you had Aaron for another 3 or 4 years and you could have won another Super Bowl and you probably didn't.
How good are these?
You've eaten the whole thing.
It's unbelievable. It's really good.
What did you think about the NFL's all these like contingency plans they're building? They're talking about delaying the season 5 weeks. The opening game would be October 15th on a Thursday. Did they say when they would come in for training camp or anything?
No training camp talk has been. I don't know how long training camp would be. I would like to see that. No bye weeks. Moving the Super Bowl to February 28th instead of February, something like that. They're thinking about really making the move. And this is interesting because they're getting information, by the way, that we're not. Right? The commissioners are all getting information from that committee they're on. And whenever you hear somebody that's on those committees or something like that put out information, that's when I think we all learn a little bit more about what the real future of this entire coronavirus quarantine is. And that's the interesting part for me. Is like, okay, they're planning all this stuff. But my first takeaway is like, damn, they're thinking there's no chance we're going to be back to normal in August or September. Yeah. It's going to go all the way to October. That's 5 months from now. That's a long time. Now let's dive into the season. No bye weeks. Interesting. Are they going to make it a shorter season then? Are they going to make it 10 weeks as opposed to a full 16? Will they knock it down to 12? How will they do that? Because if they're planning on guys just going straight 16 through, straight through a playoff, straight to the Super Bowl, I mean, that's how this plan is set up. There's no way that'll work.
There's only 1 week between the AFC and NFC championship games and the Super Bowl. There's not that 2 weeks before it either.
Think about the NFLPA. I'm sure they've already answered and said, this might be their plan, but we are not all in on that. Just because that'd be a very reckless way to go about it with people that are worth millions and millions of dollars. You're putting them in a very interesting spot, but I respect and like the fact that they're trying to give the fans a full season. I don't think it's very realistic when it comes to health concerns for the players and things of that nature, but hearing them think about October 5th being the first real time, I mean, that's a long time from now, man.
Do you think?
Well, I think they're coming up with plans. Like, everyone has to have plans in place. They said it's still top priority to start the season on time this year. We know that, but they don't know. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, nobody truly knows when anything is really going to start to happen. And now we hear what things are going to start to open up a little bit, and they're trying to. I know some states have opened up a few things. They're trying to test it.
Texas is opening up on Friday, I believe. So Texas is coming back. I'll be pumped to see what happens in Texas, because if it gets bad down there, I mean, it's only going to get worse for everybody else. But on the flip side, if it is good, I think you're going to see a lot of governors potentially peeking their head down there and trying to get back into it. And will it be a smart move or a bad move? I don't think we'll be able to find out until, and Texas has always been that state that everybody says they would be their own country if they could. And this is them saying, all right, we'll open this son of a bitch up. Let's see what happens here. Let's roll the dice here.
Have you seen the Las Vegas mayor? She's ready to open everything up.
No, I didn't. What did she say?
She said she's ready to open it up, but she won't be going back out in public because she doesn't want to get.
She offered up the city as a control group.
I saw Deshaun. She offered up the city as a control
Her
group?
words, exactly.
Well, Texas said, "Don't worry, we got you. It's not just going to be a city." But Deshaun Watson told one of his teammates, like, "Man, stay your ass in the house," because he was like, "I can't wait to get outside" or whatever. He's being locked down, and Deshaun Watson quote tweeted it and said, "Man, keep your ass in the house." So I'll be excited to see how this all goes with the people that still have the ability to stay home if they want, if the state opens up, and then the people who are allowed to go outside. If no real spike happens, which I have no idea if it would or not, the people that go outside are going to talk so much shit to the people that are staying inside. That is just something that's going to, and I'm excited for those roasts. I mean, it's going to get bad. The people that are going to go outside, they're already outside protesting things. Yep. The things they're going to say to their neighbors who are choosing to stay inside or won't talk is going to be absolutely terrible. And on the flip side, the people that are staying home, and if this thing gets bad, the shit that they're going to be Zooming their friends about is going to be next level. This is a big thing what Texas is doing for all of us. Big, big thing.
Yeah, there's some other states. Didn't Georgia open up like some barbershops and like restaurants kind of? Like,
Yeah.
but you still, there's a lot of guidelines. I think you got to have a mask, you got to sit far apart. Like, they're trying to reintegrate and see, I guess, how it goes.
Alaska opened up restaurants and stuff like that, but you have to only for reservations, and you can only go to dinner with people who live in your household, and the restaurant can only be 25% full because you have to be like 10 feet apart. So that's
how do they know if those people live in my house?
I assume you look at your driver's license.
I had a friend in New York that wasn't allowed in his girlfriend's apartment complex by the doorman. Like, you're not allowed in here. And he didn't live there. It's insane. I don't think New York or LA are going to be open for a long time. No. Feels like those big cities are going to be kind of.
New York, everyone's on top of each other there. I mean, I know that seems like the toughest one to get back to normal.
I can't wait for us to get back to normal, but boy, I hope. Because if this rollout happens and it all goes up again, we're never going to fucking be allowed out.
Never. It'll be past October.
Hey, Texas, if you got great immune systems, get your ass outside. If not, we need not to happen. I don't know. Fuck it. People are going to roll the dice, I guess. We'll all learn. But if it's out there and it's taking people down, would you want to be able to go out? I guess not.
Exactly.
Because in the grand scheme of things, your entire life, is an extra 3 months going to hurt? I mean, the economy is in a bad spot. A lot of small businesses are in a terrible spot. I mean, another 3 months could be life-changing. Man, this is a weird time to be alive. UFOs are real. I mean, this is a wild time to be alive.
Are they trying to throw us off the scent? Is that why they finally acknowledge these videos?
That's why I think Netflix is potentially rolling them out. You know, they're choosing it's like The Last Dance, how we're going 2 at a time here. Netflix is one weekend, and then the government's like, oh, we can play this fucking content game. UFOs, bang, here we go.
You asked for the original leak. Mm-hmm. It's being alleged that it was a company started by Tom DeLonge of Blink-182.
He's a big conspiracy guy.
Huge.
What's his name? What's the song Blink-182 sing?
What's my age again?
What's my age again?
What's my age again? And all the small things, drooping away, wanting your eyes, say it ain't so. He's kind of got Schefter in him, huh?
He's not even in the group anymore. Didn't they boot him out?
Oh yeah.
Too conspiratorial.
Well, he's one who's hacking into the government's files. I mean, it's tough to be associated with that guy. You know you're never going to get a gig.
Hey, if you want to hear something fun, listen to Tom DeLonge on Rogan's podcast whenever it was, a couple years ago maybe. That dude is all in on every, like he'll
Bigfoot?
He'll make you tired listening to him.
Bigfoot?
I don't think he talks about Bigfoot. He's more alien speak and going and visiting these places and getting information leaked to him from all these different sources. Like, it's exhausting.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but say it ain't so. He did go and release the UFOs.
Oh, there we go. What happened? How does your life change, though, Pat, if they're like, yeah, there's some aliens out there?
Well, it reconfirms everything I ever thought. Makes me
And
feel
then
like a
what?
real genius.
Then how does it change your day-to-day?
Well, I'm going to keep an eye out.
Look up in the sky.
Like, how about that Demon-Eyed Method that almost killed? Maybe he's an alien.
Exactly.
That guy didn't even flinch. I was going 25 miles an hour in my truck.
Probably carry more often.
Quiver. Oh.
We know your dad's going to be in good shape.
Tim.
Doomsday preppers.
Tim's ready for the aliens. The aliens don't want to run into Tim. It's not Tim with the alien. It's the aliens don't want to accidentally bump into him. Okay, let's say the aliens come down on their UFOs that we know are real now. Okay, let's say they come down and they challenge us to one UFC style fight, but there's no rules. Okay, so they could kick us in the nuts if we wanted to, and we could kick them in their alien balls as well. What specimen of a human are we sending out there? I'm sending Brock Lesnar. By the way, I think that's who I'm going with. I think I'm sending Brock Lesnar out there just so they can tell. Maybe they'll think that's what we all look like. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll think we'll all be like that.
Warrior boy.
And I think if Brock Lesnar was fighting for the human species, I don't think he would lose. I don't think he would lose personally.
Yeah, Brock's a good one. Would you want like a trained professional like Brock, or would you rather find like a street dude who is not like who's not scared to break the rules? Like you said, there's no rules, but a guy that's been in 1,000 street fights and stabbed people and will pick up any utensil near him to use it to win.
If Kimbo was available, I would send Kimbo. Rest in peace to Kimbo. I would send Kimbo out there. You're thinking
Kimbo tires out too quick. What if that alien he dances around for a while just to get him tired?
Kimbo would have trained at this point. I mean, it's for the human species. He would have been on the Floyd Mayweather like cardio conditioning type.
Send AJ. Never been concussed.
True.
Oh yeah, with that shovel head.
Or Tyson Fury.
I like Tyson Fury actually because he might be eye to eye with that. damn
Exactly. I'm thinking this alien's a big
thing.
boy.
Hey, the
Jean-Claude Van
big
Damme.
Jippo. Hey,
Or Elon.
Elon, talk to him.
Yeah, just send him out there to talk peace, you know?
Yeah, but if that gets into a war, Elon's getting snapped in half so quick.
Yeah, well, we already have his technology.
Yeah. Well, do we? He probably has more.
Yeah, no.
We'll take it safe.
I just hope that doesn't happen. Maybe they just want to come down and dance. Maybe they want our music. You ever think about that?
Old Pistol Hawk.
Yeah. Well, did you hear this beat earlier called Pistol Hawk that we played on the show?
No.
Oh, do we have it?
Someone, what's his name?
Twine is a
Twine.
musician. We we're only allowed to use limited amounts of music because we're on YouTube and we'll get strikes or whatever. So we have to use independent music for everything. And this guy named Twine sent in his music. This song is called Pistol Hawk.
Is it a coincidence or did he?
On purpose.
Strictly on purpose because of Pistol. Listen to this beat drop for your dad. What a great song for Pistol, huh?
It's going to be his ringtone probably.
This might be, by the way, my alarm in the morning.
Yeah, it's a good song.
This is good.
Yeah, it's a banger. This is an absolute banger.
Why don't you put some lyrics to this?
Well, I tried to this morning and I dropped a fuck bomb on FCC radio. Had something about like my kid AJ, biggest chin ever. That's what they say. And then I kept going and I said something about his fucking face. And then that was where it got stopped because of the FCC.
I would say how your brain is. You probably don't want to freestyle a whole lot. You get yourself in a lot of trouble.
No, I do a lot of freestyling on a very regular basis. Oh, yeah.
On air?
Yeah. I mean, it happens more so that, no. I mean, every once in a while, yeah, I'm not scared of it. But yeah, it does get difficult. It does get difficult. But the thing with my brain, I'm like normally 2 sentences ahead at the time. It's whenever I get to that next spot where the brain wants to go somewhere terrible where I'm like, we got to figure it out here. Let's slow down a little bit, pal. But Pistol Hawk is a banger there by Twine. That's a good song.
Damn good song.
Yeah.
That's what somebody should make our opening with, is that beat. Yeah. Maybe we do that.
That's a good idea.
Good thought.
It's a good idea. By the way, this show officially starting. Welcome to Tuesday, April 28th, McAfee and Hawk.
The greatest sports talk show on the internet from 1 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. So come on down for a mental vacation with the boys on YouTube Live. It's
McAfee and Hawk. McAfee and Hawk. Sports Talk.
AJ used to tackle quarterbacks, and he's a Rust Belt kind of guy. Pass the punter of the decade for the 2010s, kicking Pierce missiles
To the sky.
It's McAfee and Hawk. It's McAfee and Hawk.
Sports Talk.
That's the best part right there.
McAfee and Hawk.
Sports Talk.
How about us, dude? Welcome to the show. Tuesday, April 28th. We've got a lot to talk about. This is AJ Hawk on my left. Go ahead, pal.
Yep, welcome to the show. Good to be here, Pat. Thanks for having me.
Is this the end of the show, too? Is this show over? No. Is it?
You're the boss.
Well, you actually said earlier that I would never be your boss whenever I said I'd be the athletic director and you'd be the coach.
Verbatim.
Because when you said it, I was like, well, I should stop sending the show, say the show's over then.
I would love to see you try to field phone calls from parents and disgruntled members of the community if you were the AD of a high school.
Let CFO Phil handle that. CFO Phil is good at that. CFO Phil is best at the numbers. He's best at game planning for potential pandemics. He's good at game planning for people making outrageous statements, and he's very good at handling parents because he has 17 kids, so he understands where they're coming from. Actually, I would not put Phil there. Maybe Sally McAfee. Sally McAfee's the one fielding calls. Just strictly for content, by the way, which we will put marketing behind to raise more money for our athletic department. So Sally McAfee then ipso facto becomes one of our biggest earners. And by the way, she pays for a scholarship for a kid who wants to redo his junior, sophomore, or senior year.
Wow.
Sally McAfee, hero of Plum Borough. People forget.
Except for most of the calls that she fields are questions asking, hey, how is your son the athletic director when he lives in Indianapolis and not in the Pittsburgh area?
This is, remember, we got to remember the timing of this thing. This company, this small business gets enough money that everybody can get money and I can disappear for a while. I come back 5 years later, big old beard, okay? Big old beard. Dave Letterman, ZZ Top, big old beard, sunglasses, hat, fresh off an island, great tan, probably a Plum Mustang tank top. I walk into the school board. I say, congratulations, I'm back. Fire the athletic director, I'm in.
You're welcome.
And that's how it all starts. And I use probably the money that I've been sitting with and on, build up an apartment complex in Plum Borough, start recruiting the good athletes into town, start selling tickets at a higher price, premium goes up, team gets better. All of a sudden, Plum Mustangs are known for something other than the terrible decisions that some teachers make.
That's a good plan. I mean, honestly, it's not the craziest plan you've come up with, I'm sure, but I think you should hire Trent Dilfer to be your new head coach.
I don't think we can afford him. Lipscomb's paying him good. He's got 2 TVs next to each other. The guy's living a good life out there. A good life.
2 TVs next to each other. Yep, that is the sign of wealth.
What?
Roger has 3, by the way.
I know. That's my commissioner. What? That shirt that you have on. Have you seen the PMI Zoo that Connor put together?
No.
Come on,
Oh,
AJ.
AJ.
I think you like him.
AJ, we put the zoo together with you in mind. It's the PMI Zoo that Connor put together. It's on our store right now.
Is that the one where you have a Shaquille O'Neal T-shirt?
No, that's a shack.
It's a shack.
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 It's a wicked shack.
Wicked shack.
You'd like the shack, AJ.
The shack actually take 4 or 5 drawings before we found the actual shack that we wanted.
You would like the
We
shack.
nailed it, though.
Look, there it is. There's the PMI Zoo right there across. The shack is there second from the left, you see.
That's awesome. I did not know. When did this go live? I know you were thinking about it.
Friday?
Sold out.
The 17K promo.
It's sold out?
No, I don't know.
How's it sold out? Is it all drop shipping?
Well,
Not sold out yet.
not everything is DTG, direct to garment. Some shirts, like Foxy's, for instance, we only make a certain amount. Then you have overhead, right? So here's the merch business. We were very lucky at Barstool to learn a lot about all this stuff, and also getting to watch, Segura, Rogan, everybody run their own online business. You learn a lot of these things. So DTG is the most profitable way to have a merch company. It's called direct to garment. But those things can only have a certain amount of surface space on the shirt. So you don't have to buy 1,000 shirts. You just it's an MTO made to order. So as it comes, bang, you don't have the overhead, but you're paying a higher price for the shirt because you're only getting it one at a time as opposed to in bulk. Whenever you make something, I forget what it's called, embroidered, I believe, it has to happen before then. So you're taking a risk on a guess on how many people are going to buy the items. For instance, Evan Foxy's spring collection, we did not know it was going to sell out as fast as it did, so we only ordered a certain amount. Now we have to re-up them. I believe the PMI Zoo is DTG, so that thing, we can print those out like hotcakes and send those things because we didn't know what animal was going to be hot in the streets at a PMI Zoo.
Shock.
What animal is selling the best?
What'd you say, Foxy?
These will be restocked on Friday, by the way, if you've been wanting one.
Look at that, the Foxy spring collection. What were you saying, AJ? We need to get you some shirts on here.
I know. I was curious as to what animal sells the best.
Probably the shock.
The shock of the wolf.
Shock looks good.
Shock.
Too early to tell.
I mean, if we would have got these out earlier and had the exotic collection like we're thinking about it, I think the tiger would have went. But we're past the tiger. We're past. Poor Joe Exotic. If he thought he was going to get a chance to get an appeal, he had to hit that thing in 48 hours. Everybody's past him now.
Did you see there's another new episode of that?
No.
Yeah.
What is it?
I didn't watch it, but I saw there's another.
Is it
new
Joel
episode.
McHale again?
I don't know. I think.
Whoa!
Probably.
What was the sigh for?
Well, because I was really excited for the first one, and then it
was
kind
a
of
Zoom
under-delivered.
call.
Yeah,
it was a Zoom call. Disney took them 5 months to get 50 million subscribers. By the way, Disney Plus.
Is that a lot? Do you think it should have been faster?
No. Netflix. It took them like 7 years and like 3 months or something.
But how do you trust their numbers? Like,
can't.
How do you?
You literally can't. But you would assume that Marvel and with the kids with Disney movies, especially during the quarantine, those numbers spiked vastly. You'd assume.
Well, don't a lot of them do like a thing where you automatically get grandfathered into like a 2-month trial, and if you don't go on there and specifically say I don't want to continue this, they're going to charge you? Those
auto payments really get you on the phone. Boy, they get you. There's something on your phone you can see subscriptions. Mm-hmm. I just found that out last night. I went in there. I had no idea about some of those things on my third page of swipes that I never visit. I forgot those things were on there. I was getting siphoned for like $30 a month and I didn't even know it was happening.
Jeez.
Get me the hell out of here. I don't need this shit. Shout out to the subscriptions page.
That's how they take advantage of old people. They go in and like sell them magazine subscriptions or different things, and these old people don't ever remember that they have all these subscriptions and this money going out, and then they got to find a way. Oh, how do I cancel this? And they make it very difficult to cancel sometimes.
They're making it hard to unsubscribe from email lists too now. You got to unsubscribe, then you got to go into the thing, type in the email to unsubscribe. It's like, yo, hey. I hit the button once. I hit the eject button already. Get me the hell out of here. Now I got to fill out this. Why don't you want to be subscribed anymore? Because I don't want fucking emails from me. Is that an option? No, it's like, coming at the wrong time, not good enough deals. It's like, no, I just don't want you to show up in my email inbox ever again. Something that did happen to me, I used to have 1,599 unread messages in my email. So if I had 1,600, that was one email. It's been like that for probably 6 years. That was like my new norm. I fell asleep one morning, woke up, no more read on my email. I'm at 0. So they must have just wiped out 1,599 emails that I've never seen before. And I'm pumped up about it, to be honest with you.
They're too old. They just wiped them.
But 6 years that thing was there. I mean, it was a long time at 1,599. Long time. I couldn't even get there. I would try to go back, and I couldn't even find where they were at. So they just wiped them off for me. I'm very thankful for that.
Do you still do you have like 700 unread texts too?
No. No. Come on.
I'm with you. I have to keep them both clean. Like, I don't like seeing that giant number.
Well, I just had to get used to it because I couldn't fucking get rid of it. I had to, at some point I had to just buy in. I think it was originally maybe a lot higher, and then I just kind of gave up, and then it came through. I don't know. This feels like this is the show though, huh?
Yeah. Maybe.
How about the Lakers receiving a $4.6 million federal loan through the government's Paycheck Protection Program and then having to return it? They're worth $4.4 billion.
Did they have to return it because
They're
it became
assholes?
public knowledge?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
We gave it back.
No,
because-
no, Ty.
no.
You
But
know
they
what
had
happened.
for them to get it, they had to apply for it,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yes, exactly. By the way, I would like it to be known that the small business that is currently operated here out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and I was going to be very quiet about this. I wasn't going to kind of throw this out there that we did this. But CFO Phil and I had a real conversation about whether or not we should apply for this small business law. We could have. We have less than a certain amount of people. Our business was affected because a lot of people put freezes on their marketing budget. But I said, and Phil said, we don't need it. Somebody's going to need it. They won't get it because the money's going to run out. And we don't want to be those bad people who can't sleep at night because another business that needs it was fucked because there wasn't enough money. We made that decision beforehand. And we're like, all right, good news, go to bed. So then we forget about it, and then we start seeing these companies. They could have had that conversation. They could have been like, no, let's get this every single dollar. And by the way, there was a couple of people I told this to who called me an idiot. They're like, it's free money from the government. It's like, yeah, but it's not about that. It's about the people who need it getting the money. Now all these people are high and mighty for returning. It's like, yeah, but you still filled out to get it, and like, I think that's a very interesting. That's like what MJ was saying about Isaiah Thomas, right? It's like, due to the public perception, maybe he changed the way he feels at this point, but this is not how he felt at the time. It's the same thing for this entire conversation. It's like, I think we need a lot more people looking out for each other, especially in a time like this, AJ.
I mean, it's a great message. I think you should clip that little minute monologue by you and send that out to people. If everyone felt that way or thought that way,
Well,
we wouldn't have a lot of these delays with different people that really need that money.
Well, if I'm ever president someday, let's clip that one little part there and just go ahead and what's his name? The rich guy who just got murdered, the little guy who's Democratic. Bloomberg.
Oh, Bernie.
Murdered.
Yeah, on that debate stage, he had a rough night. He had a rough go up there. He walked.
When
up,
was this?
Whenever Bloomberg was running for president, you remember that? He just.
Oh, yeah, he's been out for a while, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. What he did with like one clip like that, he made it every single commercial, no matter where you were living, for like a week straight. It's like, Mike Bloomberg once sold a company for $10. He gave away $9.50. He'll do the same thing for you. It was every commercial, though. We just need that 1 minute clip out there, bang, in 2020. This is how it went. Should he be president? No, but this is what he did in 2020. That'll be good.
Well, it's tough to hear people like guys like Bloomberg. He's a billionaire, and it's tough for people to really
relate.
I guess feel for him or try to you can't relate to that really.
Well, Roger Goodell is very relatable. That's why he's my commissioner. This show's over. Let's get out of here. Attaboy, Roger.
He's my commissioner too now, Pat.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's on his side now. AJ, you like Roger Goodell, yeah?
So come on
I
down
love him.
for a mental vacation with the boys on
McAfee and Hunk. McAfee and Hunk.
Sports Talk. AJ used to tackle quarterbacks, and he's a rust belt
Kind of guy.
Pass the punter of the decade for the 2010s, kicking Pierce missiles to the sky. It's McAfee and Hunk. It's McAfee and Hunk Sports Talk. It's McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk.